Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Gene here in my little garage, unsupervised and trying to stay out of trouble. Let's see, what are we doing here? I'm still working on the 64 Impala Wagon, and I'm going to work on the fuel system. Since this is an OEM stock style fuel tank, I'm going to be converting it to the EFI for the LS1, so I've got to put a pump, regulator, filter in, and run AND lines and, you know, kind of graft them onto the steel lines. So yeah, this is going to be a little bit interesting, so stay tuned. Let's see how it goes. So I'm going to be up and down, over and under on this fuel line stuff, so I got all my various cameras ready to go. So let's see, what do we got here? Let's take a look. Alright, so in order to do all these lines, I got a whole bunch of stuff. Some hose here for where I need to splice lines in. I've got a bunch of 6-an line. I got my 3/8 air line. Got some more 6-an line and a bunch of fittings from Evil Energy. I got my steel line. And again, a bunch more fittings, pump, regulator, and a couple of adapters that I can go from the fuel rail to the lines. So these are pretty cool. They're just Dorman fittings for fuel, and they've got the little ends on them so you can, you know, it's pretty cool. So I got these from Dorman, the 3/8, and they're what, a foot long, and you just cut them off the length you want and hook them up to your fuel rail. So yeah, these are pretty cool. So I got the 3/8 and I got what, 5/16. So, you know, you folks that are doing LS, you know, swaps or whatever, after this year, I think this is a 98, after this year, they eliminated the return line, and maybe in a couple years later, but either way, they eliminated the return line off the fuel rail and just, I guess, ran it back towards the back of the car, whatever car it was. But this is from the Corvette. And it has a, you know, pressure and return. And from all the reading that I've done, there's been some argument, but it appears that I can just eliminate this and block this off, this return line off, and use this guy. That way I don't have to run line all the way front to back. So yeah, that's the goal. I think I'm going to use this and just run a short return line. Okay, so running the fuel lines, what we're going to do is we're going to come from the tank through the pump. This is one of those, well, it says Walboro pumps, but this looks like a generic one. It doesn't have any markings on it or no flow markings or anything, but from what I've determined, the flow is from the tank out into the filter regulator. So the filter regulator takes the full pressure, regulates it, and then goes through the return line. Return line goes back to the tank, and pressure towards the fuel rail. Now, to do that, this is the Impala Wagon fuel tank, and it's kind of oblong, and it has a side sensor inlet or outlet pipe. So no AND fittings, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this off and put a ferruled fitting to AND fitting on here, and then I've marked 2 spots, vent and return. So what I'm going to do is I have some parts coming that there's a and fitting type nut cert bung that you drill a 1/2 inch hole, plug it in there, tighten it up, and it nut certs it tight and seals it off. So I'll have 2 of those, one for the return, one for the vent. So that's how I'm going to work this. And it took me a little while to figure out how I wanted to do it, so there we go. Okay, so here's my gas tank. For those of you that work on like this Impala Wagon or other wagons, probably many of them, the gas tank isn't up under the frame sitting like this. These go up in the quarter panel. So they are like this, and the sender and the well, I guess the outlet for the you know, the lines go in the side. They don't go in the top like a lot of them do. So to do an EFI on this, I would either had to modify the top, which could be done, but I got some better ideas. So what I did was changed out the sending unit in the inlet, and I'll show you that. So initially, I bought a sending unit with 5/16 line because that's all I needed, because I was going to go with a small block Chevy. But now that I'm going with the EFI, I found, after quite a bit of searching, a 3/8 line sending unit. It's pretty crappy. So you can see a little bit of rust right here, and it's not perfect, but I'm going to check it, make sure that the actual sending unit has continuity and gets the proper ohms, etc. So yeah, so that's 3/8, and I can adapt this to a 6-and line real nice. So that was the goal for the EFI. You want to make sure that I have enough flow for the you know, the injectors, etc. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to check this out and see if it's good. Crossing my fingers, because if it ain't, I'm going to have to send it back. Like I said, it's pretty old. Looks like it's been on the shelf since 1964. So we'll see if it works. Okay, so this is the 3/8 sender that I purchased online. I had a hell of a time finding one, and I found one. But you can see that there's a little rust on it here, like right there, and it looks like somebody either tried to cut or bend right here, because it's a little garfed up. Besides that, I think it's probably fine, but I do need a 3/8 for this EFI system. So this is the one I had originally purchased for this tank, and it's in good shape, but it's 5/16. And if you look at this, these two together, I'm going to show some details. They're not exactly the same. So you can see the 3/8 has a shorter rod down to the ball, or to the float. So you're not going to get as much reading on the well, you get the full reading on the gas gauge, but when it's down, you know, this is what, 4 or 5 inches difference. So I got an idea, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. You should be able to see it from this perspective. I put the sender and the pickup tube where it needs to go. You'll see that pickup tube's all the way down on the bottom, and the float's all the way down at the bottom. We're real close enough, right? So if it's all the way down, you got a little bit of space here so that you'll have gas. And then if you take it all the way up, if you take it all the way up, you'll see that it's going to hit the top when it's full. So that's what we want. There's really the lineup, so it's almost to the top. Okay, so why am I showing you that? Well, I noticed that when I went to play around with this 3/8 pickup tube, put it in the right spot, right in the center here, take the float all the way down. I mean, it's got, what, like 4 inches from the bottom where this is going to float. Now the tube goes all the way down. Here's the end of the tube. The sock's all the way scrunched up here. I don't know why. But, and you know, that's a good safety net, that much gasoline still in there with that float. But if you take it all the way up, yeah, you really can't see this, but geez, it's top of the float is again 3.5 from the top. So this is the sending hole, this is the top. At the filler, it's going to be about 3.5 inches from the top, but the filler is a little bit lower, so you know this is probably going to be all right. I don't know. So right there, I think it's going to be all right. I think I'm going to go with it. You don't want it all the way up. Then on the bottom, it's going to be, set this right in the center here. Whoa, that bad boy's, well, same thing. All the way down, it's going to be hitting that 3 inches. So 3 inches and 3 inches. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with it. If this tests out okay, I'm gonna go with it. Point 2. 32.8. Okay, it's 9/4. I don't know which one's going to be right or different. Well, I'm all over the place. Look at this. What we got here? Why is it bumping all over the place? What do we got here? This is the new one. I'm going to take this. I'm not going to use this one anyways. Be funny. Well, it's not exactly the same, but it fits all the way down, and looks like it's going to work just fine. So I'm going to pull that back out and start doing some other work on this thing. Okay, I decided I'm going with this. I have center punch here, drill a 1/2 inch hole to put this in there. So, got a center punch out, but where's my hammer? No hammer. Invisible shop assistant, bring me my hammer. Okay, so now I gotta drill my 1/2 inch holes. So I need drill. Okay, let's quit screwing around and drill these holes. Enough playing video games. Or games of videos, whatever we want to call it. Okay. I marked the drill bit so I know how far to go. It's supposed to be 1/2 inch. I think I got it marked right. Reamer. File. Good. Jesus. Have to get a new wrench. Jesus. And that worked. Jesus. That's the gasket. Alright, yeah. This. Alright, let's see if we can get some of them shavings out of there. Nope. I'm going to use my magnet. Cool. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do here is okay. So this is 3/8 line. I take that 3/8 line and change it to an and. Right? But here's the issue. This little Humpty Hump here's got to come off to get this on there. What is this? Well, what this is a flare to an. Flare. The Humpty Hump gets in the way, so I gotta cut this off right here. Wish me luck. Let's say we try to make a straight cut. At least try. Better. It's on there. Sticking out some. Let's see if it'll tighten up. lovely. Okay, so now I'm set up for and line. 3/8 to 6 and. 3/8 to 6 and. Let's go get them. Now I can get the damn thing in there again. Oh, bitch, get in there. And take this out. Got it? Okay. Looks all right. Well, I'm going to build some and lines here, so I'll build one for this one and build one for that one. Okay, let's see if I can get this tape off there without fraying it. Well, it's frayed a little bit, as usual. Let's see if I can get it on there. You can see it, it's all the way in. Cool. Okay, so this one's just got to be straight, right? Straight. See if we can tighten this one. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and mount the fuel tank. I've got this line for the feed, and I got this line for the return. And I'll let them hang down, and I'll go ahead and mount this thing. So, yeah, let's give it a shot. I can put the rollover valve on up on top, because I'm a little concerned about being able to fit the vent on it.
Got it.
Okay folks, that was no picnic putting that fuel tank back up in the back of that car by myself, but I got it in there. It's bolted up and ready to go. So let's see, where do we stand here? I've got the AND lines run up to the sending unit. I've got the bungs installed for the return in the vent. Those aren't ready to go yet. And so that's as far as we've got in this part one of the video of the fuel system. So let's see, stay tuned for part two, where I'm going to run the lines to the filter, the pump, the regulator, and then forward to the new steel lines that I had installed previously. So stay tuned for part two. Like, subscribe, you know the story here. Let's do this like and subscribe stuff, so I can get this out to more people and get some interaction. Leave a comment and let me know how I'm doing, and stay tuned for part two.